So that's like, I'm gonna fix it once I'm
Yeah, man. See you, man. Oh, it's been baseball since morning, actually. Yeah.
I have my glasses, so I never know if I could actually see.
So right now I need to realize.
Why did you get
Me and my friend put it on, like, it's. Yeah,
Yep.
I made it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's on the one? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, shoot. My first day class. Hilarious. I can drink water very well.
Like this. That's true. That's my time. Yeah, look at that.
It's not the same. Here goes the it's.
I'm sure she would be.
He's either, no, I mean, she has.
I think you said at the beginning of the semester, we had to write like a small little essay about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
We might have a different lab partner this week.
we'll talk about that in April.
Someone also have to not give you cancer.
Just wondering if I just was losing my mind and making that up.
No, you're good. Everyone get one of these. Anyone know of someone that isn't here but will need one of these? I have it posted online too, but looks like I have some extras. All right, we'll get started in a minute here.
Is the study guide like the same topics as like in the final exam?
The short answer is yeah. So the final exam is cumulative, and so all the previous exams is like good study material.
Okay.
1 second.
So if I can give you a lie. I have to try this. Temptation to go.
You do it. You do see She said, she's like, I've been doing it. Cause I said, I think so. She asked me about it.
Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the last day of this, other than the final. Yeah. Okay. I know we love each other and everything, but that being said, we can't wait to get away, right? So, no, that's good. So let's see, no particular order. I think we'll take Gunner's question first about the chemistry reflection assignment. I have an example on the website, okay? If you're in your Canvas, you probably see like submit chemistry reflection mini essay here or something. So if you go to the home page, you'll see click here for assignment, explanation, and example. And you'll see here, let me get the full screen version of this. But this assignment, it's not supposed to take long. It's not a research paper. I don't want you spending a year doing this. It's supposed to be, I'll be transparent about it. It's supposed to be an easy 5% of your grade, okay? But I just want you to be authentic, all right? You know, 2 little parts. First one, personal element reflection. Write about an element or compound that is personal to you, maybe even personifies you. Share how it's relevant to you, society, your career, and write whatever the heck you want. You can just spend a few minutes on this. I said, hey, if you want to do a video, feel free. Someone actually took me up on the offer, made a video. That was fun to watch. But no, you don't have to do that. So just something. And then the second half is the new buzzword in education is durable skills. That's a new educational fad. It sounds like I'm making fun of that. I'm celebrating it and making fun of it at the same time. That's usually how I roll in life. But no, in all seriousness and mockingness, we're talking about durable skills, which is like, I don't know, basically means a soft skill. And so, you know, across the country, including in Idaho, legislators, educators, all these people, parents, and students themselves to some extent, they want to see if they're actually getting worth out of college education. So we're trying to build the case of, hey, yeah, I learned some stuffs, okay? And not just like the hard stuff, like the chemistry and the skills, but like I learned how to, I don't know, be a complete human or whatever. So the second part, you just write about how this class maybe helped with some of these durable skills. And, you know, stereotypically in a science class, people will be thinking about, oh, creative thinking, you know, maybe a little bit of creativity, yeah, sometimes metacognition. But you can talk about anything here. Chem 101 made me dig into my, I don't know, virtual teams, no, that social media, maybe not that, but whatever, okay? Planning or something, you know, and choose 1 or 2 of these things to talk about. And yeah, and then at the bottom page, I wrote an example for myself. I said oxygen's my personal element. I feel like it describes me. It's essential to life, yet it can be destructive. So I feel like that personifies me, something. It's important to my career because we don't breathe it, we're dead. Okay, all right. And then I don't know, I said something about chemistry taught me fortitude. I don't know, something, whatever I wrote. Okay, so yeah, just something like that. And, you know, it just so long as if I can tell it's from the heart, you're not, you know, just writing 2 sentences. We can probably do more than 2 sentences. Everything people have submitted so far, I really enjoyed reading it. So hopefully this is just fun thing. And I have it due, I think, next Friday, next Saturday, so that you can just get finals out of the way. You can spend a day or 2 just, and then you can just crank this out, all right? All right, so hopefully answered your question. Yeah. You have an element or compound in mind?
Yes.
Sweet, okay, cool. All right, okay. Now the next question was from Richard about a study guide. So for study purposes, if you go to active, under the practice tab, I have a practice final, okay? So you click it or you look at it, it says actual final 60 minutes for 50 questions. But I'm leaving this untimed to make sure you learn the questions. I'll leave it to you if you want to time yourself. So if I was in your shoes, I'd do this 1 or a few times, just no time rush, just to make sure you're learning the questions and absorbing, the material. And then maybe do it, 1 or 2 times with a timer on, just to get used to working under a crunch. Now, not everything in here is multiple choice, because I felt some of the question options were better in terms of not being multiple choice. So some of them are maybe still fill in the blank or calculate a number. But I'm hoping this 60, I made it 60 questions in here. Yeah, but you're actually gonna have 50. So hopefully by like training for a little bit of a higher number, you'll maybe feel more comfortable when you end up with a lower number, 50. Okay. Yeah, so I went all across a curriculum, and you can tell some of the questions, they start out just very sig figgy scientific notation, and it's just even a science class, and then but a lot of questions are like that. It's like, oh my gosh, this is even a science class, even though they're not necessarily like easy, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a science class. But we did our first 2-3 weeks of this class was like that sort of stuff, right? And then Siggy's, and then before you know it, it's like, oh yeah, this is chemistry, all right. Yep. Chem, very chem, extremely chem. Okay.
Will we get like formulas?
Yeah, so the first when you get the packet, it's gonna here, I'll give you an idea of here. ACS Olympiad. We're not doing an Olympiad. Olympiad exam is like the Olympics, but for chemists. Okay, and not to call myself stupid, but I will say this: like there's high schoolers that they like. You ever met that high schooler? They can do the Rubik's Cube in 5 seconds, sort of thing. And who knows? Maybe one of you are in here, and like that's awesome. My record's like 25 seconds. That was 5 years ago. I can't even solve a cube now. But anyways, it was just a fidget thing. Oh my God, de-stress, gotta de-stress. Do cubes for hours. With my fidget nowadays, I don't know. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, maybe. Anyways, video games. This is the one with my name on it. When did I used to help out with these guys? Oh, 2022. Okay. Hey, there's my name on it. So I used to write for these guys. Now these were hardcore competitions. I mean, like, you have high school students doing like, sophomore, junior level chemistry sort of stuff. So it was pretty crazy. But the reason why I pulled this up is the front page kind of looks more or less like this. You have the ACS logo, an eagle standing on ACS, American Chemical Society. And then there's a list of names for people who want their names published so they can get promotions, people like me. And scary directions, no smileys, no colors, no like, it'll be okay. It's like, you're dead, F you. It just really feels like that. And then you get a page like this, and it's got some equations and constants on it. And then there's a periodic table at the bottom. Once you go to the next page, then the questions start, and they're about this size. And, they're all multiple choice, 4 choices. And then you're going to have a bubble sheet that's provided. Okay. And you put everything onto the bubble sheet. Okay. I mean, even in this Olympiad exam, some of these are like pretty reasonable. Like, what's the volume on this? And you're like, oh, it's 1.0, 1.1, 1.2. Oh, it's between 1.2 and 1.3. So you choose
1.26.
Yeah, there you go. There. Yeah, clap. Yeah, good. You got a question. It's like, oh, I know my stuff. Okay. Times New Roman font to make you feel like you're gonna pee your pants. It's so intimidating. Okay, but just get over it. It's like it's still just chemistry. It's like, okay, I can do, oh, I've done a molarity before. I can do this, okay? La-di-la-di-la, all right? Yeah, a lot of these questions. This is like a phase diagram of a crystal structure. Yeah, that's like third year chemistry student crap. So you know, but there's these competitions. All right, so don't get intimidated by Times New Roman. This is what it looks like, okay? Now to fully answer whoever asked it, okay, was it who asked the question about
It might have been me.
okay, Richard. So you'll see the periodic table at the bottom. Now there's no names, okay? Also, they have rules about periodic tables in the classrooms. They want no other periodic table except that periodic table. So they're like gonna take this down, and all the other classrooms, they're gonna take them down and hide them for a week. I don't know why, because you can just flip it open for a periodic table. They have these stupid rules, okay? Also, other things on the front page are gonna have like some standard constants. I've seen like R, the gas constant before. I've seen like Avogadro's number maybe.
They have the temperature conversions by chance?
That
Do we have to
that
memorize?
I'm not sure. If I was in your shoes, I would memorize those. Cause we're, even as instructors, not supposed to study it. Okay, so because they don't want us like quote unquote teaching to the test. Okay. They want it to be a totally blind going in experience for everybody. Okay. But yeah, 50 questions, all multiple choice. Okay. So here's a strategy. Strategy is focus on your strengths first. Okay. Your first pass through the packet, do the questions you know how to do. Any question that you know is gonna be time consuming or you don't feel like it at the moment and or you just don't know, okay, on your scratch paper, because you're not allowed to write in the packet, another rule, on your scratch paper, and you get, you know, unlimited, okay, you just write down, oh, these are the problems I'm gonna go back to, okay? And then you'll go back to them later when there's, you know, 30 minutes or 20 minutes remaining or whatever, but you'll find that your first pass through the packet, you know, I don't want to speak for everybody, but for many of the students, the first pass through the packet happens, you know, within 30 to 35, 40 minutes, 30 to 40. Okay. And then in that remaining 20 minutes or so, you'll dedicate to the 10 to 20, maybe the 30 questions you missed. Okay. The last 10, 15 minutes, 10 minutes or so, maybe 5, 10 minutes, depending on how you pace your time. If you have no clue, what are you gonna do?
Don't try to.
Guess. There's no penalty for guessing. If you got the hardest question right through pure luck, I'm happy. Okay. Josh, I didn't know, but I got it right. Okay. And maybe there's a student who had a clue, but they had it between these two and then they guessed the wrong one and had no credit to show for it. And then you, the lucky guesser, I didn't know and I got it right. That's life, right? That's life. Okay. So please guess, don't leave any bubbles blank. It's not like those like SATs or whatever where not only do you not get a credit, they give like a quarter-point penalty. You've heard those types of tests before. Yeah, it's stupid.
How do you know you're guessing?
Oh. Yeah, how do you know you're getting, well, not guessing, if you get it wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, if you get it wrong. If you get it wrong, not only do you not get the 1 point, you get a quarter point backwards. Okay, that's I don't know if SATs do that anymore. I did SATs, what, 20 years ago-ish. So it's been a little while. The SATs suck, man. I did like good in math and my verbal. I felt like the sheet was telling me, it's like, are you even a native speaker? I'm like, well, my parents are immigrants, so some finger in between this one and that. So, okay, yes.
I'm gonna have to be here exactly at 12 to start the test.
That would help us out a lot because that means we can start earlier. Now, like if you or someone else, it's been, you know, 3-5 minutes and, you know, I'm gonna wait, but after like 5 minutes or so, I'm like, they're probably sick or traffic or something. I don't know. We'll get started without. So It's my preference, everyone tries to get here 10 minutes early or so, just and actually, we're gonna be in that room next door. It looks like this room, except bigger, and it's like rampy, okay? So I don't know, don't roll down the ramp, okay, but yeah, more or less this old boring room like this, except bigger. And the chairs, like, I think they're more like these where they're slightly cushioned, like somewhere between the comfort level of this one, that one, but they're the type, they're attached to the ground, they swivel out. I think it's those types, okay? That classroom, I put in many work orders over the years about broken chairs. Hopefully they fixed them, but if your chair is suspect, go to the next chair. Lowest tuition, right? We are getting a building remodel starting December, but.
So if someone else finishes early, do we have to wait?
Oh, no, when you're done, you just leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, two types of early leavers, the heck yeah, mic drop, and the other one's like,
Cooked.
yeah, that one, yeah. If you're cooked, breathe for 5 minutes or so. That's a long time to do breathing exercise, but whatever. I was telling my baseball team yesterday, okay, we still lost against the worst team, but that's okay. We beat the best team and we lost to the worst team. I mean, go figure. Okay. We're just giving up heads, making errors. So I went to the mound, and normally the coach has like a speech and everything. I didn't give a word. I just like everyone in. I was like, breathe in. Breathe out. Yeah. Walked away, and then we struck outside. So I was like, all right. Don't forget to breathe, okay? What does breathing do? Josh, are you serious? This is supposed to be a hardcore chemistry class. Are we talking about soft, mushy stuff? What does breathing do? For me, it lowers anxiety. Not all the time. Sometimes, like, I'm so nervous, no breathing's gonna help. But even then, okay. The purpose of breathing is, to state the obvious, get oxygen into the body. Thought. You can only metabolize sugar if there's oxygen to metabolize it. Okay, you need oxygen to breathe, right? So you breathe. Yep. You get control of the situation. Don't let the roller coaster take you away. You drive that roller coaster. Okay. And we will get the actual chemistry topics, but usually most of the time the questions are these weird things instead of the actual chemistry. That's been my experience the last 7 to 8 years. Everyone's worried about the random stuff. Okay, so we're talking over the random stuff. We will do some chemistry questions today, unless you want to talk random stuff today. I do have some problems planned. Get your bathrooms done in advance. Okay, because once you leave the room, you're not allowed back in. Okay, so breakfast, sleep, bathroom, all that out in advance. Haven't even told me about water bottles. I'm gonna say it's a yes until I hear a no. Okay. Oh yeah, the backpack we just leave at the side. So you're just gonna be here with your pencil and your calculator.
Do we have to have like a special pencil?
What's that?
Do we have to have like a special pencil? Cause I know that's how it was in the SATs.
I think number 2 pencil. Yeah. This type of calculator is great, works well. They say no graphing calculator, so that works. Using your head, nice. Works. They say no graphing. Okay, no TI 83, 84, 85, any of that stuff.
They're provided.
I will have extra calculators. Yeah. If you don't have your own calculator, I will have extras. The 2 models we carry, I think we have mostly those and then some of these. Okay, so if you don't want to be picking up like the last straw, maybe buy that calculator that you've been procrastinating. Okay. All right.
Oh, and about the quizzes, did you get a chance to open them? 'Cause
I
just had-
started, I haven't done all of them.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, and what the hey, I'll just make the deadline even past the final, I don't care, okay? Just, I'll make it due. Okay, I'll just make the essay and any last homework fixies, fixies, whatever, next Saturday, okay? Well, I really don't wanna go past Saturday because grades are due Tuesday and I've never been on a naughty list for being late yet, okay? I get my department into deep trouble, the Department of Ed, if I'm late, okay?
We have till tomorrow to do the redo exams, right?
Say that again.
We got till tomorrow to do the redo exams.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Redo exams, tomorrow's the deadline. Was anyone able to take advantage that's willing to admit it? Okay, did they, what's that? Oh, you're gonna do it today? Tomorrow? Heck yeah, let's go. Okay, yeah. And the lowest of the four is dropped, yes. It's already dropped on campus, yeah. Testing center opens 9 tomorrow, but the last student, they won't take you past 12. Yeah, so if I were you, I'd be there 9, yeah. Okay. Especially if you wanna do multiple, then you're going to do the exam and then go back to test the desk and say, oh, I wanna redo this one as well, yeah. Okay, and there's one redo per. All right, and it just keep highest grade. I'm not doing an average or whatever. I'm not replacing. I know some professors will allow you to redo, but they have the caveat, if your redo's lower, you keep the redo, even if it's lower. And I don't want to intimidate y'all and stuff. That just feels weird. Okay.
Homework's all that great.
Oh, it's always instant. Yeah, it's always instant. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, so that's review again. I have that one on active. If over the weekend people are like, you know, I want more questions than that, I can try to scramble and find something more, but I would first direct your attention to your old exams and notes and homework as well. Those are a great resource.
I tried to
as
look
well.
at some of the old exams and it wouldn't let me open them.
The practice ones?
I couldn't even find the practice ones either. I don't know if anyone else could.
Click the quizzes tab. Oh, there's a quizzes tab on the left.
Okay,
Yeah,
and that's where the practice exams are?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, thank you, okay. Okay, yes, I am checking email this weekend. It's the weekend before the final, so I am checking email this entire week. So. All right, shall we do some problems? Okay, so let's look at this topic list, okay? So yeah, we covered a lot. Maybe it didn't feel like it, maybe it did feel good. Felt like it, huh? All right, take a minute or two, go through this list if you haven't already, okay? And there's a front and back. Okay,
You don't know if we're gonna have any of like the.
yeah, I would be ready for them to give you no equations, yeah. I warned you all about that, but that was like day 1 of the semester, so we probably all forgot, but yeah. I say I provide equations in my exam, but the final usually doesn't. Okay. Who knows, maybe in the new version they end up doing it. Maybe they end up being nicer, but I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket. No. They're a strict society. They're the biggest scientific organization in the entire world, the American Chemical Society. They're uber, man. They're crazy, man. All right. I'll put it this way, schools that violate, they're publicly shamed, like in the society. Yeah. a breach occurred at da. Okay, so, you know, they're pretty hard for them.
I just thought you meant like they recommend you don't look at it.
No, it's a no. Yeah. All right. I mean, once the test has started, if we have an extra or two and I'm bored proctoring for 16, yeah, I'm gonna peek through it, but like beforehand, I can't. So by the time I can peek, it's too late because obviously you're looking at it. That'd be pointless. Yeah. Okay. Shall we read through this together, or is anything with the remaining amount of time, we're not gonna obviously have time to cover every single thing. I tell you what, I'll do this. I have an idea. Okay. Let's talk about, I want to point out things that I'm guessing people have forgotten, okay? That were once easy to you, but you forgot. Yeah, I think that'd be a good use of time. Okay. From here to here, I feel like if you're at this point of semester, oh, thank you. From here to here, I would guess that if you're at this point of semester, you're not necessarily 100% solid here, but you're at least 70 to 80% solid. I know some of you are still like, I don't know how to sig fig, okay? So maybe do that, but meh, okay? All right, next up, okay, discovery of the atom. If the names Thomson, Rutherford, Dalton, you don't remember who did what, maybe put an asterisk there for discovery of the atom, okay? Protons are in the nucleus, neutrons are in the nucleus, electrons are on the outside. Protons and neutrons weigh more, but take up way less space. Electrons take up way more space, but have virtually no mass, okay? Isotopes, we just did nuclear chemistry on Wednesday, so you already got a decent review of isotopes. Here's the first asterisk I'm going to put. I'm guessing most people have forgotten how to do an atomic mass calculation. And most people do well on those on exam 1, but I'm guessing you've forgotten by now. Okay.
Is that where you do like the mass, like on like H2O, you do like the,
Oh, that's a
16.
molar mass.
oh, that's the molar
Yeah,
mass.
molar mass is H2O is 2 times 1 plus 1 times 16. Okay, 0.008. You know, okay. 15.999 on some periodic tables. That's molar mass. Atomic mass calculation, that's like I have 3 isotopes of magnesium. I have magnesium 24, 25, and 26. I have like 80% this, 15% that, 5% that. Calculate the average molar mass. Does that ring a bell at all? The example, one of the examples, we had 2 or 3 examples in class. One was with carbon 12 and carbon 13, and we had a lead example. Okay, so we're definitely gonna do one of those today. See, I knew it, okay. All right, chapter 4, valence electrons, okay, that's, remember, that's easy as just looking at the column number. Okay, so sulfur, how many valence electrons?
7.
Chlorine 7, sulfur 6, okay? So I would encourage you, you're not allowed to write in the table, but just make a mental note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Count from left to right so you get that number right. Or you can go backwards. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the charge goes, the charge go 3, 2?
And for charges, yes, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus. 3 minus 2 minus 1 minus 0.
Zero, okay.
And valence electrons ties into all these two topics as well, that topic as well. Okay. It's all tied together, and valence electrons ties into chapter 5. Okay, with the Lewis symbols, Vesper structures, 3D structures. I am guessing people have completely forgotten how to do a Lewis structure. Okay. So I would advise you review the following: H2O, CO2, SO2, CCl4, and H3. Oh, I'm forgetting something.
Move the paper up a little bit.
Oh. Womp womp. Thank you. Oh yeah, let's do. Okay. You'll recall in our old homeworks and exams, I think this was exam 2. I think it was 3, but I think it was 2. I had you draw, count the total number of valence electrons, draw a Lewis structure, tell me the molecular geometry, or the parent geometry, the molecular geometry, tell me the bond angle, okay? And then last week when we were talking about intermolecular interactions, you could even add polarity to that list. So let me write that down. So Lewis structure, LS. What did I just say? Parent geometry, molecular geometry, bond angle, bond polarity, and then molecular polarity. Okay. Lewis structure, parent geometry, molecular geometry. Oh, the very first thing, of course, was number of valence electrons. Okay, so this is all a chapter 5 thingy. Okay, and we did a bunch of these in class. We had 6 very similar molecules. And we even had a lab on this as well. Okay. Lab, most labs, we went over a lot of the structures together, but if your mindset in lab was, I'm just copying the answers because I want to get out of here and get points, make sure you reconsult those to know why the correct answers are correct. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, chapter 6, naming. Some people love it, some people hate it. And then chapter 7, this is starting to feel a little bit more recent now. We had about, we spent 2 weeks talking about all them different types of reactions. Okay. And remember, okay, for doing a reaction, there's 3 steps. 1 is products. 2 is balance the equation. And 3 was phases. Okay. Don't try to balance until you figure out the products. Okay. I'm not sure I should put an asterisk here or not. I feel like it's a mixed bag between people who still feel like they know this fresh and those who don't. So I'll let you asterisk if it's two. I am guessing though, most people have forgotten name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then I also have a note in here about molecular equation versus total ionic versus net ionic. Okay. And remember, I have a video for every single one of these topics. I mean, it's not like one video per one thing all the time, but okay. My old Zoom lectures, when I looked at the number of viewing numbers, I was uploading them. It was usually a 0 for most of them, and nothing against that. My guess is people have just found my videos on YouTube easier for scrolling through, and I agree, frankly. So I have a video for everything if you want to revisit any explanations. And my explanation makes no sense, go to someone else. No offense taken. No offense taken. I would, if I don't make sense, I'm going somewhere else. Okay. All right. We had an acid base 1-day lecture, but I was absent for that. I was sick, so you watched the video for that anyways. Okay. Now then the last test. Okay. All right, let's see. This is all recent stuff, so I'll let you figure out if you need to put an asterisk there or not. I will say, I didn't spend as much time on molarity and dilutions, especially dilutions, as I wanted to in lecture. It was just very brief, if anything. We did talk about in lab a little bit, but if you feel like dilution, your experience was, pun intended, diluted, then go ahead and study that up. I'll put an asterisk on the pH stuff in case you know how to do it, but you don't have those equations memorized. I would try to memorize those. Let's see. Maybe we should have a memorized list so far. And full disclaimer, there's a chance that this is all provided by ACS and the memorization is pointless, but then again, knowing something memorized, you know how to use it. Okay. So temp conversions, one of you said, yep, I would learn them temp conversions. Of course, naming rules, but that goes without saying. Okay, we've had 3 different types of energy calculations this semester: light, temperature changes, and phase changes. So E equals H nu. Q equals MC delta T. We use that one a lot in lecture and in lab. And then Q equals NH, which is part, both of these are part of your post lab this week. And Q means the same thing as E, except Q is a symbol for heat energy, whereas E is a generic for any type of energy. Okay. All right. And then how many of you watch my pH videos? Be honest. I'm not going to judge. Okay. All right, we got 2. Nice. All right. So you go back to that video. Okay. I know a few of you admit to me, I just went straight to your practice exam and I learned the bare minimum required to get those questions right instead of watching the video. Fine, fair. Okay. So one thing I talked about in that video is pH equals negative log H plus. Does that ring a bell? Okay. So in my video, I make the case, if you know the pH equation, you automatically know the POH equation. Okay. And then maybe you remember the formula, that the H plus concentration is equal to 10 to the negative pH. Okay. You had to use that one. Well, guess what? you automatically know the hydroxide one as well. Okay. So that cuts your memory burden down by half. Okay. And then pH plus POH equals. There's a magic number. So what's a neutral? Yeah, 14. Yeah, Bella, let's go. Okay, the magic numbers when it comes to pH is 7 and 14. Well, 0, 7, and 14. Okay. And neutral pH is, and if you're below 7, you are acidic, which means you have more what compared to what? Which one's the acid doohickey? H plus or OH minus? H plus. So acidic means you got more of this than that. Base means you have more hydroxide than protons. Okay, those with a solid math background would recognize that these equations are actually the same thing, just different forms. Those who forget or never learn how to do derivation, you can learn it sometime. I explained a video. If you're like, I'm just going to memorize, okay, just memorize instead. Okay? I don't care how you get there. Okay. And those with the math background to recognize it would also recognize that this statement right here is equivalent to that statement right there. Oh crap, 10 to the minus 14. Okay. So yeah, if this feels overwhelming, I got an honest news flash for you. Throw it away, don't care. Okay. Save this for last. Okay. Do the stuff that doesn't give you anxiety first. Okay. And then you can go back to this. If you're like, I got everything down except this one, that's just 1, 2 questions, hopefully. All right. So if you've mastered all the good stuff, then you can try to do some of this. Okay. Once you do enough example problems, you'll remember it, at least for a week. And after you've done the exam, then you can flush your brain's contents down the toilet if you don't need it anymore. Okay. All right. And then P1 V1, and when T1 equals P2 V2 and 2 T2, and we talked about how this, if you have substitutions, lead to all the mini laws. Okay. R. All right, anything you all would add to this memorized list? Okay. You know what sticks out in your head and what doesn't. For me, molarity, I have that memorized down pat. Okay. For me, gas laws, I find it oddly amusing to look at that, and so I have that down pat. For me, pHs, I always have to re-jam this in my head a week before the start of every semester. It always feels like leaving my head. Okay, so you know what stays in your head and what doesn't. Okay, parts per million, parts per billion, percent by mass. You know what you need to cram in your head and what. Okay, and everything on the back page was really, really recent, and so I don't know if I have to point any of those out. Okay. All right. We got half an hour to do some problems. We can start with the atomic mass. That seemed to get a pretty visceral reaction, so. All right, so let me. Go to problem. All right, so. Magnesium isotopes. I'll do the magnesium one, okay? All right. Let me show you how a teacher would design this problem. All right, so magnesium has 3 stable isotopes, okay? All are found on Earth. Here are the different masses. So I'm gonna write those out. And here are the abundances. Okay.
Is it where you just add the 3 and then divide it by 3?
No, that will not work because it's a weighted average. But I'm glad you asked that, so that doesn't happen. Oh, that doesn't add exactly to a 1. Oh, I typoed that. No, I didn't. All right, 7. 7 plus 0.9988 plus 0. Oh, I know. If I round that to a 0.100, 0.1, that work. No. Okay. We have a range. Okay, I'll do this. Oh, no, let's just do boron. No. Let's do something with 3 ice. No, we'll work with magnesium. Moment to set this up. If you're curious what I'm doing, I'm showing you exactly how I type this problem when creating my exams. There we go. We're gonna go with that. Okay. Okay. Does it ring a bell at all?
No.
No. Okay, not to worry. Okay, so the table you're given in this problem usually looks something like this, or maybe instead of a table, they'll give it out in list form. I mean, in a long sentence form, which is annoying. But basically the goal, folks, is you take that and you times it by that and you get a subtotal. What I just do there in Excel. I did copy and paste. Okay, so check this out. I hit equals and I click that. and then I times it by that. And it took these two, and heck, it even took it out of a percent for me and put it as a standard number. Okay. And then I do copy, and then I do paste. And look what happens. It
So you-
shifted it. So
So
it
you
did
just
it.
multiply the mass by the abundance.
Yeah. And then I just do it for the next one. See, copy and paste, it just keeps the same cell structure. So Microsoft Excel is accurate, precise, perfect laziness. Okay. Take that to heart.
So what do you do with those numbers on like a question?
I'm so glad you asked. I add them up, sum. Okay. But you don't have Excel on an exam, so how would I do this on the paper? I'll show you. Okay. And they're gonna give you less digits than that. I got like the full amount of digits. Okay. This is mass, it's an atomic mass units. Okay. This is the abundance. Okay. As a standard number. This is the abundance as a percent. .7905. 0.0999. 0.1096. And I forgot to write the first column. This is isotope. The isotope identities. Okay. So hopefully I'm showing you a study technique, okay, which is you can make your own problems. Okay, you can make your own problems. And if you're using Earth abundant data, then your answer is going to be the same as the periodic table. Now, ACS probably knows that, so they're probably not going to give you Earth abundant data so that you can't just write the same answer as a periodic table. Because this is an Earth abundant, we should get the same answer to periodic table, 24.30. So if they give you this type of problem, it's going to be some random planet or some made up planet, some made up element. That's what my colleague Rosa Doppler does. She always does Davilium, a newly discovered element. Okay. All right. Now, in your opinion, which is easier to work with, the standard numbers or the ones in percent?
What's the percentages?
Okay. This looks cleaner to the eye, maybe. Okay. So that's fine. If you have these numbers though, for 23.985 AMU times 79.05, since it's a standard number, you'll have to remember to divide it by 100 first. Okay. Then you'll get whatever the heck answer it is.
Bless you.
Bless you. Okay. And we'll keep track of SIGs along the way, 18.96. 5 times 4 SIGs is going to be 4 SIGs. Okay. 5 digits, 4 digits, it's the lowest number of digits. Okay. That's our A being done. Your answer has to be A plus B plus C. All the little contributions need to add up. Okay. So someone said earlier, oh, can I take these masses and just divide by 3? The reason why that wouldn't work is we'd agree that the majority of the mass is going to be skewed by whatever is about 80%. So you can't just take these 3 and divide by 3. And you know they're going to make that one of the options. I can guarantee. Okay. Because they know someone's going to think that way. So we're doing something called a weighted average. Okay. All right. Now, right here, if we took the abundance as a standard number instead, we'd get the same answer. Okay. In my mind, a standard number is easier because I don't have to divide by 100. But if you don't mind divide by 100, then that's fine too. There are 2 ways to get to the same answer. Here's the issue. I don't know which column they'll give you. If they give you the one you like, great. If they give you the other one, you'll need to be ready to do something to convert it to the form that you do like. If you like percentages, multiply these by 100 to get those. You'll have to divide by 100 afterwards again, but whatever, okay? And vice versa, okay? If you like these, but they give you these, divide them by 100 first to get those, okay? All right. And your answers should be in the same like ballpark as these, you know, some number between 0 to that. Okay. If you're working in 25s and you get 25s or lower, you're getting answers that make sense. If you get something way above 25, start suspecting that you made a math error, such as you forgot to divide by 100 or something. Okay. All right, is this done or we need more? We have 3 components, right? Okay. So we're going to do the 24.986 times 0.0999, or you do 9.99 divided by 100. I don't care. Okay. And since it's multiple choice, if I don't have to care about units because no one is looking, I'm not going to care about units because no one's looking. Okay. 36, 3 digits. So 49 with a 6 is going to round up to a 50. My experience with ACS exams, sig figs, by the way, significant digits. Most questions usually don't care about sig figs, except the 2, 3, or 4 questions that are asking about it directly. Otherwise, they usually don't care. So that's a relief. Okay. And we need one more, right? 25.983 times 0.1096. I'm going to cut off in the hundredths place anyways, but I'll use that 8 to round it up. Add your subtotals. $24.31. The 8 rounded up to a 1. 24.31 atomic mass units. Periodic table 24.30. I've seen some periodic tables with 24.30. I've seen others with 24.31. Okay. We're basically there. Okay. for sure, your answer should be within the range of the lowest mass to the highest mass. Anything lower or higher than those two extremes does not make physical or mathematical sense. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, reviewing these things that you knew how to do at one point in time, but it left a brain, okay? I don't want you getting those easy ones wrong that you felt were easy, but you forgot how to do it, okay? No deers in the headlights next week. All right, I'll wait until someone gives me another suggestion to work on, or I can scratch my brain for something.
The electron configuration.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that's a great one. Okay. All right, which element you want to do? Scarier, the
Yeah.
more mysterious, the better. Okay. And since it's 101, they're usually going to stick with the main group, the S or the P block. Not a guarantee, but usually. For the sake of learning, I'd say anything 1S, 2S, all of that. I do something, let's do like a 6-row element. No, actually, let's do an easy one and a hard one, maybe that. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention. Okay, I mean, it's kind of implicit. For the valence electrons, electron configured orbital diagrams, don't forget to consider ions as well. The adding or subtracting of electrons. I have a great video on my channel for that. Okay. In my channel, I have a valence electron series. It says part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, maybe even a part 5. So it's one of those. All right, let's do chlorine. I'll start out chlorine, and then we'll work our way harder. Okay. Chlorine. So here's what I want to give you. I want you to give me number of valence electrons. What's that?
7.
Oh, yeah, good, thank you. All right. And then give me a full electron configuration. Give me a condensed one as well. And then give me an orbital diagram. We aim to sneak in a number of unpaired electrons. I don't think they'll ask that, but you never know. All right, give that a shot. Oh, we might as well sneak in the atomic number, aka the number of protons and the number of electrons. Sneak that in too. Okay, if you finish this quickly, the next one we'll do, a way more difficult example, is radium. Okay. And then the little twist is as a 2+ cation. Radium, I would be a little surprised if they asked it, given it would take a while to do, but you never know. I just feel like if we do a radium, I feel like you can basically do anything on the periodic table. Bless you. All right, I'll start writing my solution. Okay, and there is my solution. Okay. Okay, and we'll go to radium next. If you want more good examples to review, I mean, anything in the periodic table is good review, but carbon versus nitrogen versus oxygen, I think would if you're struggling with knowing when to pair and what not to, okay, remember the idea is in P, D, or F, you don't pair until you have to. Those bathroom rules, the bus rules, right? So carbon versus nitrogen versus oxygen will really make sure you know how to do those bathroom rules correctly. Okay. Scandium's a good one. Scandalous scandium. Neodymium's great. Rare earth magnets, that's number 60. And then on the exam, exam 2, I think it was, I had a lot of examples between thallium, lead, bismuth, polonium. Maybe you vaguely remember getting one of those on exam 2. So any of those are great. PB through polonium. And then choose a noble gas, xenon. Okay. Xenon's a great example to make sure you know how to do a noble gas correctly. And the condensed electron configurations, not the noble gas, it's the one before it. And then the little extra.
Diagram is the arrows here.
What's that?
Orbital diagram.
Yeah, the orbital diagram is the arrows. And the exam, they may not call it that. They may just say, choose the correct diagram. They may just leave it at that. Okay.
Orbital makes sense.
Yeah. So like, here's a common one. I mean, I would be really delighted if you got this one. Okay. Choose correct for nitrogen. Okay. And remember, do the problem first in your own scratch paper or at least in your head, but do the problem first before you look at the answer choices. The answer choices, they all look good. They always all look good and sensical, and you're gonna be tempted to something that is wrong, okay? Do the problem first, okay? So you could get 4 answer choices for nitrogen. Oh, bro. Oh, well, okay. I tried to make that wrong, but it was coincidentally correct. I hate it when that happens. Oops, I just told you. Come up with wrong answer. I don't even know how to come up with the wrong answers.
Go one sideways.
Oh, sideways. Well, that gave me an idea. Well, there you go. Okay. Okay. For many questions, not all questions, many questions to a reasonably trained person, a problem will be obviously wrong. And then you're gonna boil it down to 2 options. That's usually what happens. I feel like most students would see this, they're gonna be between here and there. Someone who forgets Hund's rule, bathroom rules, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I just pair, next one, pair, next one, pair, next one, pair, next. But remember, for P, D, and F, we don't pair until we have to. Okay, so B, that one. Spread apart. All right, we'll do the radium one and then we'll get out of here. Now, radium itself is 2 valence electrons. Radium 2 plus took them away. Y'all know where radium's at? Below barium, buried below barium. Oh, that's terrible. Radon 7s2 is a condensed. You would get radon 7s0 if you lose it to, AKA you don't even have to write that. See if let's see if Bing, GP, AI, whatever can give me the correct answer here. What is the full condensed electron configuration for radium? Let's see if it nails it. Failure. Okay. It gave me the condensed. I said full. Dang it. All right. AI will get better over time. All right, I think. All right, if you gotta go, see you later. Otherwise, if you wanted it, 1s2, 2s2, thank you, CH. Yes. Yeah, yeah, take more. Yeah. There's a pool.
See you on Wednesday, Josh.
See you on Wednesday. Jorts? No, that's not a jorts.
No, these are cargo.
Cargo, okay, okay,
I'll be wearing jorts on Wednesday though.
okay.
Oh, says you wanna comer.
Y'all see how fast I write that? I'm in my prime.